So I run into Martha Stewart and John Bon Jovi on Paul Allen's yacht. Can you even believe the story? In St. Bart's, US dresses, the black Dolce & Gabbana, got it at a sample sale, satin dress, open sides, laces, corset, insane. I wish I had it now. And I have just said to Martha Stewart when she says to me, she says, John, this is Bethenny. She was on my show, The Apprentice, and she didn't win, so she's mad at me. And I say, Martha, I'm not mad at you. You're like an ex-boyfriend that I'm still in love with. Okay. So years ago when I was in LA, I'd been in some movie and like my top was off in some scene, right? And so this piece comes out in the Post, like the last page, called Martha's Apprentice, okay? I'm dying, I can't believe it, etc. I'm out on a date in 57th Street at Nobu, and I see Martha across the table. Now, she can't stand me. It's just obvious. She can't stand me. I'm a pest to her. And I go and I sit, they have these booths that are like open, both sides are open, and you can just slide in. And I sat next to her, and she said to me, oh, I just watched your movie. Swear on my life, she said, I just watched your movie. I'm like, oh, I just got an insider stock tip. No exaggeration. Like the cuntiest of cuntiest interactions of all time. There's something else that I forgot to mention to you. Wait, there's another part of the story. Hold on. I forgot one of the biggest things that ever happened. I was disrupted from day one because the first day that I got to The Apprentice, the first day, Charles Koppelman is on her right and Alexis, her daughter, is on her left. Incidentally, Alexis had a little affair with one of the camera guys, which I liked Alexis. She was cool. We saw each other. I liked her. She ended up doing a radio show with Jennifer Koppelman, a woman whose father was to Martha's left. That was the chairman of Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia. And I dated his son, Brian. So Jennifer's brother, I dated. So the first day I get on to The Apprentice, I walk in and there's like some problem ahead of time and like they don't know what to do. We've been cast. It's been a months-long process. I finally get myself there, and on the first day there's like a disruption. I'm causing problems. And on air, I see Charles Koppelman. I'm like, I walk in, I see Charles Koppelman. I'm like, oh my God. So it has to be said on the show that Charles and I know each other. They never would have cast me. That we know each other and that I dated his son. And I started off thinking everyone's going to think I'm going to like now win or something because of this situation. So I started off with a mark against me. I probably never could have won anyway because of that mark. I can't believe I forgot to tell you that part. Well, I'm the disruptive one who dated the chairman of Martha Stewart Living Omnimedia's son, and they didn't realize that till the first day we get on the show. Then Martha sees my Louis Vuitton outfit. She comments on it in my closet. I'm winning tasks. I'm me. Then Martha Stewart realizes that I've met Bill Clinton on the day of the finale, that I'm friends with Paul Allen. It's all a disaster. I cannot win this thing. I go all the way. I run into Martha at Nobu. She makes a snide comment about my movie, which I was topless in. I say to her, I just got an insider stock tip. The Cunty Olympics have begun. So I'm dating Kevin Mazur, this rock and roll photographer who's a big deal. And he's on every red carpet and every celebrity knows him, and he travels and shoots Billy Joel and the U2 and everyone. He got the first John Mayer and Jessica Simpson kiss, the whole thing. Why I haven't written a book about this shit, I don't know. I don't even know what's in my brain. I forget all this shit. So I'm dating Kevin Mazur. So Kevin Mazur says to me, let's go to the Bette Midler Halloween party at the Waldorf Astoria. I dress up in a full roller girl outfit. I'm so cute. In fact, Steve Schwarzman and his wife, I think Cindy, come up to me and she wants to be like friends with me. She's like, and I'm like thinking I'm the greatest thing ever because I'm roller skating through the Waldorf Astoria. So Martha's in there. So of course I can never help myself. I have to walk up to Martha because Martha to me is my father who would never be nice to me. And I kept thinking every time I would go up to him that one time it would be different. You know how you have this situation with a parent or someone or a boss and you're like, okay, today they're going to be, and I go up right to Martha, and she says to me about Kevin, because I had been dating someone else, this guy Jason, and she said, because I guess it was Jason, who was this other Jason, who was with me when I saw her at Nobu. She said, oh, is this the same guy you were dating? They couldn't look more different. One was bald, one had hair. Like, she needed to give a cunty remark. So she goes, is this the guy you were dating? She was at a table, and Joy Behar was there, and I think it was like Rosie O'Donnell was there. I think it was her. Yeah, this year, you can look up the pictures. But she gives me like this remark. And I always was like kissing her ass. And I was like, hi, sorry about anything or whatever. Like there was some ass kissy thing I had to do. I could never get my breath. Like she was always up here and I was always down here. And now I was, with the help, because even though Kevin is a major photographer, he's working. And now I'm the girlfriend who's roller skating through, and Martha's up here and I'm down here. And like, I can't get ahead. I'm still back at zero. I'm always back at zero. And remember, I haven't made it yet, okay? I'm always back at zero. And then one time, I don't think I see her for a long time until I'm successful. I don't think I see her for a long time until I'm actually successful. This goes dormant for a while. But in my mind, I know she always kind of can't stand me. So, but I kind of love it. It's like a friend of me. Like, I respect her. It's okay. She's a bitch. It's Martha Stewart, and I can handle it. Let's go, I'll become successful just to fucking keep this thing going, okay? So that happens, and I think years go by, and then I become successful. Let's go. P.S. The chairman's son also wrote the movie Rounders and Billions, produced Billions, the show on Showtime. So, okay, so I become a breakout star on The Housewives. I have a spin-off show. It's the highest rated series premiere in Bravo history. The Skinny Girl Margarita is the fastest growing liquor brand in history at the time. And I'm married, and we run into her in front of her building on the West Side Highway. There's a place on Perry Street where there's like actually a restaurant, a Jean-Georges restaurant called Perry Street, and her apartment is in that building. And I run into her in front, and she's nice to me, and she mentioned something about like grandkids or Alexis, and she's different. She's different now. Like, I'm now successful. I'm not different because I'm still like trying to pretend I'm at her level, but I'm still slightly here. I'm a little more up here, but I'm getting a little respect now after all this time. And Andy Cohen on his show, Watch What Happens Live, says to her something about Bethenny's success. And he says to her, go find the clip, something, what about Bethenny's success? Or what about blah, blah, blah. And she says, I was wrong. Like, what? So Martha Stewart said I was wrong about her or something, which like respect, okay? So now I have a talk show. I know she's never gonna come on my talk show. There's no way she would come on my talk show. She comes on my talk show. Now, she did call me a pest, and she wasn't that nice to me on my talk show. But again, it was still getting a little more towards like, I don't have to kiss your ass anymore, etc. But it was my house. She was a guest in my home, and I still treated her like with honor and respect. And I don't mean this as an older woman, like as a woman who's earned respect and an older woman. And she's a tough. I know she's been so challenging, and that she comes from old school generations. I don't give a good for that. Like, it's a touching story. She built $1 billion business. She went to jail. She's been in the clink, okay? And she leaned into all that years later with the Justin Bieber roast. I know from people that know her that she was never really like the persona. She, and like eat with her hands and stuff like that. I mean, she's a broad, so don't get it twisted. Takes a broad to know a broad. She would admit she's a broad, okay? She's a friggin' broad. So she comes on the talk show, and before the talk show, somewhere between the chapter of my show and the talk show, Andy Cohen calls me because I'm pitching him a show, and he says, Martha came to me and she said she wants to do a show. And he said, and the agent we both had, Eric, will confirm all this stuff, receipts, facts, timelines. So he says, the only way I'll produce a show with Martha is if it's with you. He and I go to a park near his house in the West Side, in the West Village. We sit on a bench, and he says the only, he may hate me, but he knows I ain't a liar. So he says the only show I will do with her, I will produce with her, because he had a production company, then he had a production deal, he was doing more stuff, is if it's with you. So we go, and she and I meet. We have a meeting with a bunch of people, and she's like super nice. You know why? Because she's a boss bitch. Because she thinks we're doing a TV show, and she puts business first, and she knows it's going to be a good show. I don't remember why we didn't do it or what happened. It just sort of dissolved. We both had a lot going on in our lives, but it was a real concept. Eric Wattenberg, that was the agent. It was a real concept. We sat down. She was class act. It was like, we were fine. We were good. Great. So then I don't see her for years until this year. I just saw her at the iHeart Awards. And again, I get nervous. I gasp. I told my makeup artist to get the camera. Like, I wanted to capture it. The woman, Susan, I think it's Susan Magrino, or the woman who's worked with her for years. I may be mixing two stories. Maybe it's her publicist. There's a woman who's worked with her for years, a blonde woman. She's like, she comes up to me At the iHeart Awards, that's what happened. I think I saw her, but she comes up to me and she goes, do you want to say hi to Martha? I'm like, do I want to say hi to Martha? Like, I still am the child. And she's the parent that I want her approval. And I walked to kiss the ring. She couldn't have been nicer. Couldn't have been nicer. Wanted a picture for herself. My light just died. Wanted a picture for herself. And that's the last time I saw Martha. So the question is, when will the next time I see Martha be? You're welcome.